Your home for scores, recaps, and interviews with our top coaches. Here are your hosts, Lee Cochran and Ryan Baker.
Welcome in. Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime, the last regular season edition of overtime, but not the last one of the year because we've got one more coming your way next week for round one of the playoffs. I am Ryan Baker. He is the guru, Lee Cochran. Glad to have you along. This is going to be our longest show of the year, Lee. Who knew? Week 10 of the season, we would get a game that gets over with quickly.
Honestly, I looked up at the clock. We came on. I was thinking the same thing. It's about time. Let's go.
That's right. We'll get you through all the scores. There's a bunch of big games in Central Ohio tonight as Week 10, a lot of league titles on the line. We heard one get wrapped up in our game of the week. Olentangy Berlin, they wrap up the OCC Cardinal and Olentangy, just their second loss of the season. Olentangy, 2 losses on the year, 1 to start the year to Olentangy Liberty, 1 to finish up the year against Olentangy Berlin. This game, Lee, I kind of thought it'd be a little more offensive. I was kind of thinking when I was looking at this game like a 23-17 type game, but I knew how good this Olentangy defense was, and I thought that their defense is really good, their offense not as good as it has been, so I thought this would be a pretty big defensive struggle, and it turned out it was.
Yeah, you were right. I mean, I think when we talked last week, we figured it was going to be close. It should be close. I mean, Olentangy comes in 8-1, Berlin comes in at 7-2. It's going to be a close game, but Berlin at home. Berlin's won the last 4 meetings between the two teams, and Berlin wins the OCC for the second straight year.
So congratulations to Coach Nori. We're going to try to reach out to him and hopefully get him on the show a little later on tonight. We talked about some of those big games in the area, Lee. Let's go ahead and run through a couple of them here. Watterson to Sales. Lee, you've been in town now for, 32 years, right about that?
There you go.
Is that right?
Yep. You got it.
32 years. And when you came here, that was prime. Your first few years here, I think, were prime to Sales Watterson years.
I can tell you, when I came here and I'm working sports to paper, and everybody told me, this is the one game you got to go to. So I went to my first Watterson to Sales game. I think it had to be, 93? And I'm telling you, there were at least a half dozen times where you just cringed at the hit. And I was like, I hadn't seen that in high school football in quite some time. Very clean game, but just hard hitting and close games. And I love it. I mean, it's a rivalry that, Watterson leads, I think 38-30 and with 1 tie. And, every year, it's going to be such a great game. I mean, last year, Watterson comes in 9-0, and DeSales, as a rival, will beat them. Didn't stop Watterson from going to a state final. But, boy, that had to, leave a little bit of a bitter taste in the offseason. And they all shared the title last year.
I don't know if there's anything that can stop Watterson this year, except for maybe like a TCC, Toledo Central Catholic, in the state championship game, because they're rolling tonight. It is 38-7 late in this game. Drew Belisari's done it with his legs. He's done it through the air. He has a couple touchdown passes running, a couple touchdown passes throwing. Zach Weber has a touchdown run. I mean, they are doing everything. They had a 99-yard kick return called back with a holding penalty. DeSales, the only way they've scored was a 94-yard kick return.
Well, and, we're looking at Watterson over the last 3 years. This year going to go 10-0 in the regular season. Last year made a state final. Year before that made a state semifinal. I mean, that's pretty amazing. They won a state title in 2010, and between 2000 for the next 11 seasons, they had 3 winning records, and that was it. I mean, they dipped hard, and Coach Kennedy's done a heck of a job to bring this program back to where we expect it to be.
Yeah, the turnaround that they've had here the last few years is amazing.
They had 3 3-7 seasons, 2 2-8 seasons. I mean, that's just hard to fathom. When I looked that up, I double checked everything because I'm like, there's no way They had the season's that rough. There's just no way. But it did happen. But they're back.
They are, and they're back in a big way. Like I said, they lost that state championship last year to Toledo Central Catholic, who was a very good team. Watterson had a couple big mistakes in that game that hurt them, that helped Toledo Central Catholic get that win. They look almost unbeatable this year. Nobody's touched them. Nobody's come close.
Well, okay. 2 years ago was the state semifinal. Last year, state final, and they lost. You think they take that next step this year and win it all?
I mean, it's close. They've got as good a shot as anyone in Central Ohio. They're probably the best shot in Central Ohio to win a state championship this year.
Yeah, and but it was a yes/no question. It wasn't a maybe question.
The only reason I say no is because Toledo Central Catholic stands in the way, and they're pretty darn good. But that's the only reason I say no. I mean, they put it to Chardon earlier this year. They put it to Harrison last week.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that Chardon game really caught my eye.
This DeSales team is no joke. They could do a lot of damage in Division II, Region 7 this year, and it's 38-7.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Because Division II, Region 7, well, yeah, you can make a run.
You've obviously got Massillon there,
sitting
for
there,
sure.
Obviously. Big Walnut is there. Big Walnut's they got the lead on Westland right now, don't they?
They do, by a point right now, 28-27.
And so, but yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be too surprising to see, DeSales and Massillon there in the final.
And in fact, this Watterson-DeSales game has gone final. 44-7 is the final. So Watterson completes the perfect season. They move on to the postseason, and we'll try to get Coach Kennedy on a little later in the show.
That's got to be a relief. I mean, we talked about it being 9-0 last year, and DeSales coming up and beating them last year. Some coaches talk about previous years, others don't, and it'd be kind of curious to talk to Coach Kennedy and ask him if they talked about it, because a 10-0 regular season, something to obviously a great goal to achieve, and to do it against the team that prevented you from doing it last year has to be doubly special.
How about this, Lee? This is pretty cool. Something that, we love the feel-good stories in the high school football season. Newark beats Lancaster tonight, 36-25. This is the first time Newark has beat Lancaster since 2013, and the first time Newark has beat Lancaster at home since 2005. Newark finishes the year 7-3. How about the Wildcats and the job Bill Franks has done there the past couple of years?
And you bring up 2005. That was the last time Newark had a winning season. They're 7-3. They're guaranteed a winning season. That's good. I mean, it's we've had a couple feel-good stories. We talked a little bit about Westland. That's a good feel-good story. Walnut Ridge, another one. They've been down the last couple years. And now they're, looking for a 10-0 regular season.
So we mentioned there's a bunch of big games. I want to go through some of them. In the OCC Central, Upper Arlington has beaten Hilliard-Davidson tonight 14-10. So it looks like, Lee, that means we're going to get a three-way tie in the Central, because how about this? Olentangy Liberty leads Olentangy Orange 50-20 right now. And Olentangy Orange, if they would have won this game tonight, they win the title outright. Now we're going to have a three-way tie with Upper Arlington, Liberty, and Orange. Andrew Leonard's been on fire tonight. He had a great first half in this game. When I look at Division I, Region 3, there's a handful of teams that could win this, but I think Upper Arlington and Liberty are the teams you got to throw right at the top.
Well, I would agree with that. We've, because the last few years we've had the standout team, or at least we thought so, going into the postseason. Gahanna the last couple years, Arlington had it the 1 year, but yeah, coming into the night, and I guess nothing will change. Liberty's going to be the top seed in the region, and yeah, you look at them, you look at Upper Arlington. I guess I'm a little bit impressed with what Gahanna's doing without Brennan Ward at quarterback.
And that's where I was going to go next. The OCC Ohio, obviously on the line tonight. Pick North and Gahanna, and they are at Pick North tonight. Gahanna, we're watching it on the TV, just kicked a field goal. Gahanna leads this one 17-6 with 1:22 left. So it looks like they're going to upset Pick North. And again, no Brennan Ward at quarterback.
Yeah.
We got a flag on this field goal, so not for sure that they got the points here yet, although it does look like it's on Pick North, so that'll be all right, unless looks like a personal foul, so they may get a chance to kick the ball unless it's a penalty on the kick. But this is very impressive from Gahanna.
Well, yeah, and I don't know, upset might be a strong word. Gahanna's won the last 3 meetings, and, both of them are, come in, 4-0 in the league, and North hadn't lost since that opener, so they've, again, it just shows what kind of balance we have in Region 3. Region 3 is going to be fun over the next 3 weeks. I'm looking forward to it.
There's no, the thing is, there's no way you can look at that and say this team is going to win.
Oh,
it could be, and listen, there's another team out there we haven't even talked about for a while. That's Pickerington Central. They lost to Pick North early on. They lost to Harvest Prep, obviously, in the opener. And all they've done is finish the regular season. Well, I don't think their game's finished tonight, but they were beating Reynoldsburg pretty bad. They're going to finish the season 8-2 and be right there in the mix with everyone.
Yeah, and it's getting scary when we're starting to, think alike, because that's, I'm heading there and you're heading there. But, I would, I don't want to say temper the enthusiasm because, Canal Winchester's a pretty good team. Groveport started off strong, and they were probably the number 1 team in the area for a week, and then they've kind of, cooled down quite a bit. As Taze Valley, but still Pickerington Central's going out and taking care of business. They've just steamrolled through, the OCC Buckeye, their closest games, that touchdown victory over Groveport. But yeah, and how weird is it to say that, Pickerington Central's become sneaky good and watch out for them. That's kind of weird.
It is very weird, but we haven't talked about them since that loss to Pick North. And all they've done is reel off wins. Lee, before we take our first break, real quick, I want to talk about this because the all-time consecutive winning streak in Ohio high school football is on the line tonight. Mm-hmm. Last week, Marion Local tied Toledo St. John's with their 57th straight win. They go into tonight playing Coldwater. The 3rd year in a row, these two teams have played in Week 10, and both of them have 9-0 records. The number 1 team in D6 in the state in Coldwater, the number 1 team in D7 in Marion Local. The last update we had in this one, Lee, was 28-0. Marion Local was beating Coldwater in the third quarter. They haven't given up a point, Lee, since Week 5 of the regular season. And how about this? The 50-50 tonight. The winner took home $22,480 at a high school football game.
Well, I think I told you about a friend of mine who was going up to the game, and he said one of the reasons he wanted to go was to get some of those 50-50 tickets, and which is good. But the thing about it is there's so much hype around this game because Coldwater is so good, Marion Local so good. But and as you said, they've met this 3rd year in a row. They've both been 9-0. But Marion Local's rolled the last 2 years too. It was 35-14 2 years ago, and 35-0 or 35-14 last year, 35-0 2 years ago. So there's a lot of hype around it, but Marion Local is just dominating of late.
Real quick, Walnut Ridge has won the City League South. They don't shut out. They go 10-0 on the year, 46-8. They beat Independence tonight. So congratulations to Walnut Ridge. We're going to take our first time out of the evening, but when we come back, we will give you the finals that we have so far. It's the final regular season edition. Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime on the Fan.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan to create the media plan that's right for your family. Whether you make a full plan or just choose a few parts that matter the most to your family, healthychildren.org/media plan is an easy-to-use tool that will help your family set media priorities and create healthy digital habits in line with your family's values. You'll also get practical tips to help make the plan work. And you can come back to revise your plan as often as you need to, like at the beginning of each school year or during summer and holiday breaks. Raising kids in the age of screens is easier when you have a plan. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan and make your plan today. Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan to create the media plan that's right for your family. Whether you make a full plan or just choose a few parts that matter the most to your family, healthychildren.org/media plan is an easy-to-use tool that will help your family set media priorities and create healthy digital habits in line with your family's values. You'll also get practical tips to help make the plan work. And you can come back to revise your plan as often as you need to, like at the beginning of each school year or during summer and holiday breaks. Raising kids in the age of screens is easier when you have a plan. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan and make your plan today. Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan to create the media plan that's right for your family. Whether you make a full plan or just choose a few parts that matter the most to your family, healthychildren.org/media plan is an easy-to-use tool that will help your family set media priorities and create healthy digital habits in line with your family's values. You'll also get practical tips to help make the plan work. And you can come back to revise your plan as often as you need to, like at the beginning of each school year or during summer and holiday breaks. Raising kids in the age of screens is easier when you have a plan. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan and make your plan today.
From Picktown to Marysville and everything in between, this is Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime on The Fan.
Welcome back in. High school football overtime, Byers Dublin Subaru style. Ryan Baker, the guru, Lee Cochran. Real quick, just want to make a correction on something I said earlier. It's Delphos St. John's that had won the 57 straight games before, not Toledo St. John's. I misspoke there. So just wanted to make sure we got that one correct. It looks like Marion Local is going to break that tonight. Again, 28-0 last we saw in the third quarter. Lee, we are getting some finals in tonight, so let's go ahead and run through some of these real quick. Actually, last night, we had a couple games in the City League, one in the north and one in the south. Northland in overtime beat Beechcroft 17-14. Lee, this was the first time Northland has beaten Beechcroft in 3 straight seasons for the first time in school history.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had lost 15 in a row, and up until about 8 years ago. So they've won 5 of 8 now in that series, 3 in a row. Pretty cool.
Yes, very cool. Congratulations to Coach Sayers in the game. Marion Franklin, 24-8. They beat South last night in the City League South. In the OCC Buckeye tonight, finals that we have. We mentioned Newark topped Lancaster 36-25. Taze Valley beats Logan 24-3. No final yet on this Westland Big Walnut game, though, Lee, but I did see that there were like a minute and a half to play, and Westland is within field goal range, trailing 28-27. So we'll keep an eye on that one. OCC Cardinal, it was our game of the week here, right here on the Fan. Olentangy Berlin wins that. They beat Olentangy 14-11. Marysville picks up their third win of the year. They beat Hilliard Darby 31-25. In the OCC Central, The only final we have, Upper Arlington has knocked off Hilliard-Davidson 14-10. That means Upper Arlington will be part of a three-way tie for the title because Olentangy Liberty has a running clock and they're up 30 points on. And in fact, this is from Steve Blackledge. He says this game is going to be final 50-20. So congratulations to Olentangy Liberty. Liberty, UA, and Orange will all share a piece of the OCC Central this year. In the OCC Ohio, Gross City has shut out Central Crossing 38-0, and they just went final in Pickerington. Pickerington North falls to Gahanna by a score of 17-6. 38-13, New Albany beat Westerville Central tonight. We talked about the CCL. Watterson wins that 44-7. They beat DeSales. In the City League South, Walnut Ridge finishes the year 10-0, 46-8. They beat Independence. Mid-State League Buckeye, Bloom Carroll all over Circleville, 41-7. In the Licking County League Cardinal, Heath gets their fifth win of the year, 36-6. They top Utica. Ohio Heritage Conference South, Madison Plains beats Springfield Catholic Central, 27-7. Lee, this is pretty cool. Madison Plains coming into this game tonight was guaranteed they just cashed their ticket to the first playoff appearance outside of the COVID year ever in school history.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and it's quite a feat, and it's quite a statistic too to qualify for the playoffs for the first time in school history. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to them as well. They finished the year 6-4. Oh, Lee, just got this one final as well. Harvest Prep has beaten Kip Columbus tonight by a score of 35-14. Interesting one in this game, Lee. Jamarcus Jones, their star defensive back and wide receiver, was starting at quarterback for them tonight. Not sure if that was an injury thing or a rest thing with Colin Boff. It'll be interesting to talk to Coach Smith and see exactly what was going on there.
Yeah, and but he was expected to play a little bit of quarterback during the year anyway. So heck, you never know what's going on there. Hey, one score I just saw. We talked about how Watterson had its perfect season end last year against DeSales in Week 10. Mm-hmm. Reedy did the same thing last year to Columbus Academy.
Yeah.
Reedy did it again.
Wow.
We got a 23-14 final. Reedy over Columbus Academy.
And that'll be so Reedy wins the Central Buckeye League, and that will be huge for Reedy in computer points there in Division 4 Region 15.
Yeah.
23-14?
23-14.
So congratulations to the Silver Knights.
And then we've also got Hartley beating St. Charles 48-27.
48-27 for Hartley.
The Hawks have won 2 in a row now.
Yeah, and I just think back to that game against Bloom Carroll, how big that was for Hartley because they were well on the outside looking into the playoffs, and now they're probably firmly in.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah, they're in. And, when we talked to Coach Birchfield, he said he was pretty, he goes, you really don't have to be that honest with the players. They know what's going on. They know the playoffs started last week. So, yep, they're going to be in. And they're, like we talked last week, you're going to have Hartley going somewhere in the first round of the playoffs, and nobody's going to want to see that bus coming into town.
Real quick, Jordan Matthews for Westland just punched in his 4th touchdown of the game. Westland leads Big Walnut 33-28 with 1 minute to go in that one. Also, Marion Local 35-0 over Coldwater. They beat the consecutive winning streak in Ohio high school football. Their 6th straight shutout.
Yeah. And you'd said before we got on the show that they were what, 4 deep around the track. Stands are full, of course.
It looked like 4 deep from what I saw.
That's just amazing.
They have given up Marion Local 22 points all year. 7 shutouts, 22 points.
Ugh.
That's insane. I mean, those numbers. And they're playing good teams out there in that MAC conference. Yeah. They just shut out back-to-back Minster and Coldwater.
And its last 3 years, they've scored 35 on Coldwater. Coldwater didn't give up points like that either.
52-21, Pickerington Central has beaten Reynoldsburg this evening. We are going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, though, we will talk to the head coach of Bishop Watterson, Brian Kennedy, about his team's 10-0 season and their big win over DeSales tonight. It's Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
QC Kinetics not only has the latest non-invasive treatments for joint pain relief, but they also have one of the most respected names in sports medicine, serving as their medical director. That's Dr. Ray Tesner.
As the founder of Sports Medicine Grant and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon, it's exciting to be involved with the latest advances in regenerative medicine and QC Kinetics.
Well, QC Kinetics is making a huge difference in the quality of my life and others as well.
As folks already know, Bobby Carpenter and Sat Sullinger are sports legends in Columbus. QC Kinetics has already made a big difference in their lives, and also for Bobby's father, Rob Carpenter, a 10-year NFL veteran.
And the QC Kinetics team are seasoned medical professionals.
One of the cool things about being the medical director of QC Kinetics is the privilege I have of working with our staff, who have 15 years of experience in regenerative medicine.
You could be next. Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus and call QC Kinetics today for your complete complimentary consultation, 380-208-4544.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
I didn't expect to, but I need to get a new health insurance plan. The good news is I found Health Markets. I went to healthmarkets.com and saw plans available in my area. They have access to more than 200 carriers across the country. And if you need help, you can just speak with a licensed insurance agent. It's all right there for you.
Discover the advantages of real personalized service today at healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Paid actor per trail.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this sale on red, green, or black seedless grapes. Right now, they're just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Ravens.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick It One.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
At Roof Revivers, we save not only your roof, but your money too. Whether you need a quick repair or a full replacement, we've got you covered. While many companies jump straight to replacements, we always start with repairs. Replacements, that's our last resort. We'll provide a clear, detailed explanation of what your roof needs, complete with photos, so you know exactly why. With over 350 five-star reviews on Google, honesty is at the heart of everything we do. Roof Revivers is ready to work for you. Visit roofrevivers.com today. Roof Revivers, we fix leaky roofs.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at Germain Honda of Dublin.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Ryan Baker knows more about high school football than anyone. Except Lee Cochran. This is Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime on The Fan.
Welcome back in. High school football overtime brought to you by Byers Dublin Subaru. I am Ryan Baker. He is the guru, Lee Cochran. Our guy, Rhyme Time, Jacob Reimer on the other side of the glass, running things and getting coaches on the line for us. So let's head out right now to the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline and talk to the victorious Brian Kennedy of Bishop Watterson. His team 44-7 winners tonight over St. Francis de Sales. And Coach, I know every win is big, but I know you're feeling a lot better tonight beating those guys.
Hey, thanks for having me on. No, it does feel good, right? I mean, this game was important for us because we wanted to win that CCL championship.
Well, Coach, Ryan and I talked about it last year. You were 9-0 and lost this game. Do you talk to him about that this week, about how we have to finish this strong?
Just a little bit. Maybe once or twice. No, I mean, and we watched the game film from last year, right? I mean, it was important for our, we have to learn from that, right? I mean, they played a great game last year. Took advantage of some opportunities. We didn't want to, give them anything tonight.
Got to admit, you fooled us, Coach. We thought this would be a close game, and it wasn't. And a lot of that had to do with Drew Belisari. 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdowns rushing. I mean, just becoming a regular performance, isn't it?
Yeah, and and it starts up front with our O-line. I think our O-line has done a great job this year. Drew has worked really hard, and I mean, it feels like every week he gets a little bit better. So it's exciting.
Coach, you lost some pretty good seniors, pretty good players off of last year's state runner-up team. Did you know coming into this season that this team could be that good, losing some of those key pieces?
It's funny. You don't, right? You think about, each year, right, you lose these seniors, and it's like, man, these guys were great players. How do we replace them? What are we going to, where are we going to be? What are we going to do? And, to our kids' credit, all through the off season, through summer, they worked really hard, and, it's paying off for them for sure.
Well, now, Coach, as you get ready for the playoffs, 10-0, are you the kind of coach that says, okay, we're starting over, everybody's 0-0, or it's, how do you look at it?
Yeah, no, this is, now we get into, win or go home, right? So every game is important. We're just looking at one at a time. I don't know who our opponent will be. But, learning from last couple of years, we've had a pretty good playoff run. So that certainly has given us some experience in terms of how to approach the playoffs.
Coach, you talk about that in the playoffs, and we mentioned last year coming up just short in the state championship game to Toledo Central Catholic. How much did that playoff run and getting so close? You mentioned the players, how much work they put in. How much did that fuel the start to this year?
No, it absolutely did. I think when you go back a year, right? Losing in that regional final, that team last year, that was the motivation, right? They wanted to get past that point. And so certainly, losing to a really, really good Toledo Central Catholic team, we've got some motivation to get back there and try and change the outcome.
And then, Coach, last one for you. I know the CCL title is always one of the number one goals. Beating your rival DeSales, one of those number one goals. You guys accomplished both of those. How nice is it going to be next week hosting a home playoff game?
Well, it's awesome. We've been really good at home the last 3 seasons, so it's really nice to be at home for the playoffs.
Coach, in your Division III region, 11, and you look at that, and I mean, you're following that. I mean, you're seeing where you're stacking up in the region and everything. Can you give us a little bit of preview of the region? Who are the teams that you really catch your eye?
Well, I think, I think us. I think we're up there. I think Steubenville. Certainly what Athens is doing. I don't know anything about them, but what Athens is doing this season is impressive. People are going to forget about Hartley because they're down a little bit, in terms of the computer points, but that's a really good team, right? I mean, that's a really good team. Bloom's a really good team. I mean, I think our region is the toughest region in D3 in the state of Ohio.
Oh, I would that's what Ryan and I have been talking about for a while. That how impressive. But we're at this point. You're 10-0. You've the games you haven't really had many close games. I mean, the Hartley game is the closest one in basically since the opener, and that was 20-0. When you get into the playoffs now, where do you say, okay, if we want to get to that ultimate goal of a state championship, here's where we have to improve?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think, we're going to watch this film. I mean, there's still things. We had some breakdowns on defense, some breakdowns of coverage, a couple missed tackles. We turned the ball over tonight. There's always something to improve on, right? I mean, the good news is I don't feel like we've played our best game yet. So I think it's ahead of us.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the big win and the great season for you guys. Good luck, whoever it is, next week in the playoffs and the rest of the way here for you and the Hawks.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
That's Watterson head coach Brian Kennedy joining us on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline.
Yeah, and, just again, you look at what they've done this year. They had the big Walnut game, where it was 20-0, and, he mentioned Hartley. Hartley, down, a little bit down, but, that's been their closest game this year, 28-13. I mean, they're rolling. I mean, it's going to, you brought up Toledo, Central Catholic, as the team out there. But I'm telling you, the way these guys are playing, Ryan, I don't know. I don't know. They seem to have everything going from the way they play, the way they approach it, the way the coaching staff approaches it. We got to continue just to keep building.
It seems like they're rolling, and it seems like that dimension of Drew Belisari being able to run the ball as well as throw the ball has really made them very dangerous. You talked about the game against Hartley. They win by 15 points. That's their closest all year. Their other one, the opener against Big Walnut. Lee, how about this? Big Walnut in that final minute scored.
No way.
They beat Westland tonight, 34-13. Big Walnut.
34 what?
Or 34-33,
okay.
Excuse me. Big Walnut wins the OCC Capital. Congratulations to Coach Kreger in the game.
What a finish. 2 touchdowns in the final minute.
I heard somebody say has to be the game of the year. I saw somebody post that on Twitter. Has to be the game of the year, that one there for the OCC Capital. And you know what? It'd be hard to argue.
I would agree, especially since they're there and we're just, talking about it.
Hey, speaking of that OCC Capital, we just got another final there. Westerville North has beaten Dublin Scioto by a score of 41-24
Did we have the
tonight.
Did we have the Westerville South game?
I have not seen one. Last I saw, they were losing to Kilbourne.
Well, they ended up winning 31-30.
Wow, what a comeback there from Westerville South, because I had seen that one as 24-14. Kilbourne was winning that one. So 31-30, Westerville South, they pick up their 5th win of the season, go 5-5 on the year. We are going to take a timeout. When we come back, though, we'll get a preview of what's coming up on 1st and 10 tonight with one of the guys from 10 TV. It's Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime on the Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
Scotty Vegas for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Broom finish, stamped and colored, or exposed aggregate concrete, pavers, fire pits, seating walls, even lighting. Maxima is all in-house. Never any subs, so hire the guys that'll actually perform the work. Mention this ad for $250 off your next project. Still plenty of time left this season, so get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All three under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
At Byers Subaru Dublin, we're not just a dealership, we're your trusted hometown team, guiding you through a seamless experience, whether buying, selling, trading, or servicing your Subaru. We've got you covered.
Right now, get the all-new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for 72 months.
Located under the windmill at 270 and Sawmill, or shop online at ByersSubaruDublin.com. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers Subaru Dublin.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 10/31/24.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan. This show gets you so close to high school football, you can smell the stinky shoulder pads. It's Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime on The Fan.
Yes, it is. Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime. You can join the Fan live on campus early tomorrow morning as the Buckeyes host Nebraska. We're tailgating at the Ozone on Lane. Admission is free. You can hear stage announcements from Timmy Hall and former Buckeye Dane Sanzenbacher. Music from the fabulous Johnson Brothers. The Fan at the Ozone on Lane. It is sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Hollywood Casino, Michelob Ultra, Jack Daniels, Pepsi, TNT Equipment, and the Guru's favorite, Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Hey-o.
Also, one of the Guru's favorite is every time each week, we get to talk to one of the guys from 10 TV and get a little preview of what's coming up on First and 10.
That I'm the favorite in that, though. Not just one of the guys, you know. There's got to be a favorite.
Well, it's always you or Dom, and we like you both equally.
No.
Yes,
that's
we like you both equally.
That's a cop-out.
You are the king, and Dom is the Don. So
that's fair. All right.
So we like you both equally. Hey, how about your Gahanna Lions? What a win tonight without their quarterback.
Turns out you don't need a quarterback to win a football game.
Not in high school football, it doesn't seem like.
It's becoming quite the story there. I mean, when they won against Grove City, you thought, okay, you know, maybe they found a way. But to go do that and win the OCC, all right.
And they just showed the last 2 weeks, well, you don't need a quarterback if you have a defense
That's
like
true.
that.
There you go.
Well, 25 points? 25 points last 5 games they've allowed.
I think it's crazy. What is it? They won the OCC last year, right? And they won it. Then won a year before, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they never were winning when I was in school. I mean, they couldn't win a game when I was in school. But now they're just on a tear.
By the way, I'm just seeing a highlight. Sorry.
So many things just went right by my mind when you were saying that.
I'm just seeing a highlight of this final play in the big Walnut game that we were just talking about. It's just a little 2-yard screen pass. Actually, the running back or the wide receiver went in motion and then turned when he got to the line and went back, and he was wide open, and they dumped it out to him, and he dives into the end zone before the hit. What an exciting game. Big Walnut winning the OCC Capital tonight, knocking off Westland 34-13. Adam, there was so many good games this weekend. I know you put together the list for where 10 TV goes. How did you choose between all these games?
Well, one thing that I really like to do when we get to week 10, if you're going to go undefeated, we want to be there. You know, if you have a chance to go undefeated, we want to be in the building. And if there's a conference title on the line, it's pretty much those two together. Once you get there, I think I don't confirm this, but I think only one of our games didn't have one of those two scenarios. We went to Grove City and Central Crossing, which did not have a title or undefeated.
Were you guys at Linden, McKinley, and East tonight?
Yes, we were.
Well, we just got a final on that one. How about this? Linden, McKinley knocks off East. They come from behind. See? 28-20. Linden, McKinley, Northland, and East, your co-champs in the City League North. So how about that? What an exciting game.
That's phenomenal. I mean, East is one of the best teams in the state, and to go in there and beat them is huge.
I don't know how much, obviously, you're so focused on what's going on here in Central Ohio. I don't know how much you've paid attention to what's going on in the western part of the state tonight.
I have. You know, it's all over TikTok.
Is it?
Did they officially get it done?
They did, 35-0.
That's why, and they were playing another number one.
They were playing Coldwater, who's the number one team in the state in Division 6.
That's wild.
Marion Local, they break the record. They haven't given up a point, Adam, since week 5. They've only allowed 22 points all year.
I want to see this team. I mean, it's a 100-mile drive for us, but I want to see this team in person and find out what makes them so dominant.
There's been so many stories on it. Like, I remember a couple years ago, what was it, about 4 or 5 years ago, USA Today did a story on this Marion Local program, and they've only been playing football since 1999, and they already have 13 state championships. This might be the bigger story tonight. The 50-50 winner at Coldwater took home $22,480.
I saw that on Twitter. That's quite the day.
They took home 2/3 of that. The government took the other third.
And here's the problem with the 50-50 is that, you know, when they went to collect their winnings, they said, "Do you want to donate it back to the
give
to
it
the
back,
school?"
give it back.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you. Have a good day.
If I win, you know, I was somewhere and won $100, I keep it. 22.8. Nah, that's coming home with me.
You guys can have the 8. I'll keep the 22.
Exactly. So where are you guys at? We talked about it a little bit. Where are you guys at tonight?
Watterson to Sales. We got both of the Olentangys covered. I stopped by to see Bishop Reedy take down Columbus Academy.
Wow. Second year in a row.
Snapping their streak 2 years in a row, which is brutal. We got a lot, as we just talked about, Linden, McKinley, and East. Got a lot of great games. Gahanna, everything you've heard, all the games, you'll see the end of that Westland game on 10 TV. So, as we said, a huge night here.
I just got a text from our buddy Todd Bell, by the way. He was calling the Olentangy Liberty, Olentangy Orange game tonight. What a win by Liberty there. 74 out of 75 for Marion Local now.
That's
74 wins in their last 75 games.
That is ridiculous.
I think since 2000, the only year they didn't make the playoffs was 2003.
What went wrong in that one game?
Who knows? I mean, they were probably playing Kirtland in the state championship, and Kirtland is ridiculously good. What time should we head over to 10 TV to watch the highlights?
11 o'clock. Flip it over there, and we'll have you covered with 1st and 10 and some great news.
And before we let you go, is Dom okay?
Dom's
after what happened to DeSales tonight?
He's taken a minute, but I think he's recovered a little bit. I heard him shout out the final score in a little bit of anguish, but I think he's recovering.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to check on him. I know he was very excited for this game tonight. Everybody get over to 10 TV right now. Make sure you're ready for 1st and 10. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Lee, let's go ahead and run through our scores here because we have gotten a few. I mean, we've given you most of them, but let's go ahead and run through. Again, it started all last night In the City League North, Northland beats Beechcroft 17-14. That was an overtime victory. In the City League South, Marion Franklin 24-8 winners over South. Tonight in the OCC Buckeye, Pickerington Central, they are your champs. They beat Reynoldsburg 52-21. Newark, they are 7-3. They get a 36-25 win over Lancaster. And Lee, I haven't checked this. I actually want to check it just now as I've reading this score.
Mm-hmm.
Newark possibly, maybe, they came into tonight 13th. They could possibly maybe jump up. Probably not, because Grove City got a win and Westerville North got a win ahead of them. I was thinking maybe they could get that home playoff game, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Taze Valley 24-3 over Logan. In the OCC Capital this evening, your champs, Big Walnut. They knock off Westland in a thriller, 34-33. Westerville North improves to 6-4. They beat Dublin Scioto 41-24. Westerville South, a come from behind 31-30 win over Worthington Kilbourne. Our game of the week here on The Fan. The OCC Cardinal goes to the Bears of Olentangy Berlin. They beat Olentangy 14-11. Marysville picks up their third win of the year, 31-25. They beat Hilliard Derby. In the OCC Central, Olentangy Liberty. What a win, Lee. 50-20. I thought, we talked about this. I thought Liberty would win this game. There was no way it was 50-20, though. It was like 23-21, something really close.
Yeah, and that's why when you'd said, hey, they're at a running clock, I was like, what? And that was kind of surprising. Again, it's one of those games, it's not surprising who won. It's surprising how they won.
Very much so. Upper Arlington, 14-10. They beat Hilliard Davidson tonight. So we've got a three-way tie in the OCC Central. Upper Arlington, Olentangy Liberty, and Olentangy Orange. In the OCC Ohio, your champs is Gahanna, 17-6. They knock off Pickerington North. Pickerington North had gone on a streak since that opening loss to Lakewood St. Ed's. They lose the final regular season game. Grove City gets a 38-0 win over Central Crossing. That should lock up, maybe not, I don't know. Grove City got a chance. They're going to be right on that line for a home game here in the postseason. And then New Albany gets their fourth win of the year, 38-13. They beat Westerville Central. In the CCL, Watterson, they finished the year 10-0. What a win tonight. They beat DeSales 44-7. Hartley, they're 6-4 on the year. They beat St. Charles 48-27. In the City League North, wow. Lyndon McKinley, congratulations to them. 28-20, they beat East tonight to pick up a share of that City League North. In the City League South, Walnut Ridge completes the 10-0 season, 46-8. They beat Independence. The Central Buckeye League goes to Bishop Reedy. They knock off Columbus Academy and end their bid for a perfect season for the second year in a row, 23-14, the final in that one. Bloom Carroll in the Mid-State League Buckeye, 41-7. They knock off Circleville tonight. In the Licking County League Cardinal, Heath 36, Utica 16. Ohio Heritage Conference in the South Division. Congratulations to Madison Plains, punching their first ticket ever to the postseason outside of that COVID year, 27-7. They beat Springfield Catholic Central. Harvest Prep gets a 35-14 win over Kip Columbus tonight. And then tomorrow, we've got one game on the docket tomorrow, Lee. The Groveport Canal Winchester game has been moved to Saturday. So that's going to, unfortunately, a lot of times by the time we end this show, we know some playoff matchups. Unfortunately, that's going to change some things in Region 7 and Region 3 for us. Yeah,
everybody's going to be waiting an extra day. Hey, one score I just saw, Grove City Christian defeated Fisher Catholic 20-14. Grove City Christian wins the MSO Cardinal. They had clinched a share. They win it outright at 5-0. At 6-0, excuse me.
What was that score again? 20-14? Okay, congratulations to Grove City Christian in that one. Lee, real quick, we talked a little bit about Watterson. Obviously, I think you could tell from us talking, we think Watterson is got a shot, obviously, in Division III to win a state championship. Outside of Watterson, who is the other team in Central Ohio that we see making a run. I don't know if it can be anyone in Division I, Region 3, or Division I, Region 2. I'm not sure. Is it Harvest Prep? I would think. Does London have a shot in Division 3?
Well, Harvest Prep was the first one to pop into my head. It's a good at Region 17,
Region
19, and 5. It's got Ironton in there. You got Academy. But it's winnable for Harvest Prep as we would expect. Of course, I mean, my goodness, the teams that they've knocked off this year. Man, you look around. Watterson. Anybody else really kind of jump out at you?
I think it's Watterson and Harvest Prep are the two that I think of. In London, maybe I would put London in there, but London would have to play Watterson, and I just think Watterson would get them. Obviously, you never know in the playoff situation like that. Division I, Region 3 is fascinating to me, though, because I think there's probably 6 or 7 teams that it wouldn't surprise me if they won that region.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. You can go, go at least 6 deep in there. Gahanna, I mean, I think when we learned about Ward's injury, we're like, ugh, that's going to be tough on them. But they've just been playing defense. They've been playing good defense. And that's going to win you in the playoffs. Whew. I don't know. You look at that, though. I mean, you look at Liberty. Goodness. I mean, Orange was number 2 coming in. Get Upper Arlington. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a fun region, like you say, but I don't know that any of them have enough to go on to that state title. I would love to see it. I'd love to see it again, and I'll be rooting for Central Ohio like crazy.
Absolutely.
But I just don't know. Maybe Liberty. I don't know. But just something about them.
I literally just got a text from someone that said, "Watch out for Liberty to make a run." And I mean, I don't think that's wrong. I think you could see any of those teams real quickly. Just got a final in the City League North. Centennial beats Whetstone 42-7. And then I see that Buckeye Valley has beaten Whitehall tonight. We don't have a score on that one, but we'll try to get that one for you here coming up shortly. Hey, one of those teams in Division I, Region 3 that we talked about, Olentangy Berlin. They win the Cardinal tonight. You heard it right here on The Fan. They beat Olentangy 14-11. Their head coach, Mark Nori joins us next. It's Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief. As thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gahanna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Scotty Vegas here, and I got to share this story from the weekend. So we're doing a live broadcast at Hollywood Casino Columbus, and this awesome couple, Beth and Chuck, come up to me. They heard my Awaken 180 endorsement and decided to place their bet on the best payout in town, their health. They started earlier this year, and man, we had a blast talking about how great Awaken 180's been for all of us. Even traded some food tips. Beth hooked me up with an Awaken 180 approved cheesecake recipe, wings, pizza, cheese cheesecake, all on the menu when losing weight with Awaken 180. The best part, we all have Patrick as our coach, and just like you trust your bookie, we trust him to make the right calls on our health. It's a winning system, no question. You don't need luck, just the right game plan, and Awaken 180 gives you that every single week. If you're ready to cash in on your own health jackpot, call 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com and place your bet on a new you.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we're really proud of our Hideaway hardware technology.
Oh, yeah, that's the super duper fancy stuff where the handles fold all sleek like into the windows.
That's right. Do you guys have Hideaway hardware at your window place, Wilson?
Do we have Hideaway hardware? Oh. No, we don't.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for improving the look of their homes at PellaColumbus.com.
The Buckeyes are back home at the Shoe for a Big Ten battle with Nebraska.
Live fan coverage starts Saturday morning at 6:30 with the Kick at Noon.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking spokes puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture an oil change that's quick, not rushed. When you hear the bell, feel yourself becoming light as a feather. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today. No automotive worry, no appointment needed.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. We're looking at a few showers around this evening. May provide minor impacts to those football games, but that would be about it. Temperatures down in the 40s overnight under partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy on Saturday. Ohio State will kick off in the 50s, of highs making the 60s by the afternoon. Will be mostly sunny to partly cloudy again on Sunday, more 60s. Temperatures will start to warm back up as we head through next week. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
From Picktown to Marysville and everything in between, this is Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime on The Fan.
Flying right along here, Byers Dublin Subaru's High School Football Overtime, final regular season edition. We got one more coming your way next week for round one of the playoffs. One of those teams that'll be in the playoffs, Olentangy Berlin. They win the OCC Cardinal tonight. It was our game of the week. Right here on The Fan, they knock off Olentangy by a score of 14-11. Their head coach, Mark Nori, joins us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. And, Coach, we talk to a lot of coaches, and they always talk about their goals for the season. And a lot of times it's beat our rival, win our league, make a run in the playoffs, get a state championship. Where is winning the league title, winning that OCC Cardinal, where is that on your guys' list of goals?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on tonight. I appreciate it. I think it's right up there with the goals that we set in the beginning of the season. We just look to get better each week, and I think part of high school coaching is making sure your kids are dialed in and week out, not looking ahead, those types of things. I mean, not every practice is picture perfect, so. What we try to do each week is focus on some of the deficiencies that we have, and then just work on those, not trying to do too much. And then hopefully by the time the league comes around, we're ready to compete. So, but we have a really tough league. We have great coaches in our league, and I mean, it's just, week in and week out, we have to prepare like every game's a championship game.
Well, Coach, tonight's game, it seemed like you guys are kind of feeling each other out a little bit. The first quarter was scoreless. Were you expecting that kind of a game, a low-scoring game like this?
Absolutely. I mean, they have, they have some weapons on defense. They have some weapons on offense, and I think we had to be calculated on both sides of the ball and on how we attack that. I thought special teams was gonna play a role, and it did. We ended up blocking a three-point attempt by them late in the third quarter, and the difference in the game was 3 points. So, yeah, I mean, they got guys all over the field, so we were trying to be as meticulous as we could without making any mistakes and putting our kids in the best possible position to be successful.
Coach, I think it's pretty cool that, and obviously you and Olentangy are in the same league. Liberty and Orange are in the same division of the OCC. But I think it's pretty cool that all four of you played each other tonight. And I think it's cool that all of you guys still play each other throughout the year. What do these Olentangy games mean to you guys, the kids, the community?
Well, it's what high school football really is all about. I mean, a lot of these kids grew up together. They played together at some point. They played against each other at some point all through their middle school years. And so it's a very familiar process with all these kids. And you guys alluded to it earlier, the kind of feeling each other out. I mean, that's been standard pretty much for every Olentangy game we play. And I can tell you that it won't matter what the records are. It never does, and it never will. It doesn't matter who's got who on what team. This is the game the kids really buy into. I mean, some of the teams that we play early on might not be as connected, but when these games come around, for all the reasons you just mentioned, the community, the kids knowing each other, the familiarity, all that type of stuff, it's different. I mean, it's different. And, you're 100% correct. We had to settle down a little bit, and I would submit that they probably had to too. And that's just kind of what you expect. And, the Liberty Orange game tonight was, quite frankly, a shock because you just don't see those kinds of lopsided victories with Olentangy play.
Well, good. I was glad to hear you say that, Coach, because Ryan and I both were shocked too. Now, as you're getting ready for the playoffs, when you go into practice next week, what's the focus? Where are you looking to improve now?
Well, you got to figure out who we play first, I suppose. But I think we just stay the course. We've kind of developed a mantra of one game at a time, one day at a time, one play at a time, and so we got to figure out whoever we're playing. Our offensive and defensive coordinator and our special teams coordinator do a great job of putting game plans together, and as I alluded to earlier, they do a good job of trying to find deficiencies on their respective side of the ball. So, we'll just stay the course. That's all we can do. We have a hard hat and lunch bucket mentality, and we just try to go to work every day and punch the clock. And I know those are cliches, but they work for us. And so if we keep our kids focused and I talk about the eyes on the prize a lot. And really, that just goes 1 week at a time. And so, we'll just keep our focus where it's at, and, we'll see what happens.
Coach, one last one here before we get you out of here. You talk about those playoffs, and Lee and I have talked a couple times here about Division I, Region 3, where you guys are, and how I don't think there's really a favorite in this. There's probably 5 or 6 teams, maybe 7, 8 possibly, that we wouldn't be surprised if they came out of this Region 3 as a winner. You guys have played DeSales this year. You guys have played Upper Arlington. You've played, we mentioned, Liberty and Orange and Olentangy tonight. How do you think this schedule you guys have played, and you talk about you don't know who you're going to play yet, but you guys are going to be ready for anything with this schedule you played, right?
Well, I think, it's interesting because the Tide kind of changed when they went to this format in the playoffs. So, coming out of the gate strong is nice and it's great, but you can't always get the first couple. And so, you have to look at it from really a bird's eye angle and say, well, this is a 10-game season now, and anything can happen as you roll forward. So, I don't know what other teams do, but we play some pretty good competition early on, and whether we win or lose those games, I think it benefits you just from the standpoint of having your kids be ready to play against, perhaps bigger kids or faster kids or whatever it is. And so when this time of year comes around, you're hopeful that learning curve is a little bit smaller now in week 11 than it was in week 1, 2, and 3.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win tonight over Olentangy and winning the OCC Cardinal. It's been a great season for you guys, and obviously it isn't over. Best of luck when you guys start the playoffs next week.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
He's the head coach of Olentangy Berlin, Mark Nori, joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. I got to go out there last year as they were preparing for their game against Dublin Kaufman in the postseason. And I got to talk to Coach Nori after practice for about a half hour. And I became a Mark Nori fan that night because he's just such a straight shooter with everything. And he is just real matter of fact. And he's very even-keeled. What you heard there is exactly the guy that he is. And I know one thing, they will be ready next week.
But let's not forget, this program's only in its 7th year. I mean, they had that first year where they won their opener, then lost their next 9. And since then, they've not had a losing record. And, they've just, last year they were 11-2. I mean, I think that says a lot about Coach Nori and his staff. It says a lot about the players. It says a heck of a lot about that district, too.
Yes, it does. And we've been talking about this Region 3 and how we don't know what's going to happen. Just look at Olentangy Berlin's schedule this year. They lose to Upper Arlington by 3. They beat Liberty by 1. They lose to Orange. They beat Olentangy. I mean, it's all over the place. You can't get a consistent thought of who's the best team.
Yeah, and I'm well documented in saying I hate 16 teams getting in Division I. I've said 12, but even think about if we were at 8 coming in tonight, Groveport's out, Olentangy's out, Grove City's out, Newark's out. That's why I say let's put 12 in there. I'm good with 12.
I like that too. The 16, I guess, is okay in the other divisions, but in Division I, where there's only 17 or 18 teams, yeah, it's a little too much. We did just get a final here where we were talking to Coach Nori. Dublin Kaufman picks up their second win of the year. They beat Hilliard Bradley tonight, 49-28.
In the playoffs.
And, hey, they made a run last year. You never know. They've had a brutal schedule, Dublin Kaufman has. They really have. We're going to take a quick time out here on Byers Dublin Subaru's High School Football Overtime. When we come back, we will talk to the head coach of the undefeated Walnut Ridge Scots. Rob Wheelwright joins us. It's Byers Dublin Subaru's High School Football Overtime on the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are Men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Sunday Night Football on the Fan. Catch the Cowboys and 49ers from the Field of Jeans. Live coverage starts Sunday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
My furnace just went out.
Ma'am, have no fear. Dormar is here. We can get that furnace fixed fast.
Dormar, you guys are the best.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Gambling too much or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this sale on red, green, or black seedless grapes. Right now, they're just 99 cents a pound with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Friday nights mean high school football in Ohio. This is Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime on The Fan.
Welcome back in. Byers Dublin Subaru's High School Football Overtime. I'm Ryan Baker. The guy to my right, that is the guru, Lee Cochran. In case you're watching us on the YouTube tonight, we're glad to have you however you're listening, whether it be the YouTube or the regular old terrestrial radio or the 971 The Fan app. We are glad to have you along. Final regular season edition of Byers Dublin Subaru's High School Football Overtime. Our guy Jacob Reimer on the other side of the glass as well here tonight. Walnut Ridge, what a story this year. They complete a perfect season. They go 10-0. They win the City League South. They beat Independence by a score of 46-8. Their first-year head coach, Rob Wheelwright, joins us now on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the great season you guys have had. You're a proud 2013 graduate of Walnut Ridge. Just what does it mean to you to be back and coaching your alma mater?
It means everything. Just to be back and, be in these same hallways, be on the same field, practice field, with these guys who inspired to do some of the things that I was able to do as far as in college and playing professionally. It means everything to me.
Well, Coach, first season, as Ryan said, previous 3 years, Walnut Ridge had won 6 combined games. 10-0 right now. This coaching gig's pretty easy, isn't it?
I would say so. We got some great kids, man. I think they was pretty tough over the last 3 years, and I was just telling my team that the other day. It was like, hey, man, we got the same team. We just got a different belief this year, and my kids are believing and they buying into what we're doing and every day. As far as in like the process, it's all about the process that we put in, week out, and it's been showing up on Fridays.
From when you started day one to right now, what's been the biggest thing you've learned or had to adjust to?
Just the adversity. Just dealing with kids on a day-to-day basis. They have so much stuff going on outside of football. I think that's kind of been our biggest thing. Just being a mentor, being a role model, and not always talking about the X's and O's, kind of getting to build relationships with our kids. And I think, the relationships that we build, it just helps them play and it helps them trust us, when we're coaching.
Coach, you talked about some of your kids, and obviously Marquise Lee, he gets a lot of the headlines. But talk about some of the other kids that have been key to this 10-0 season so far.
Man, I really want to give a shout-out to the whole entire offense and defensive line. Them guys, we got 3 seniors, Kevin Green, Mason Wellborn, and Jaquan Moore. They've been here for the last 4 years, and them guys have really put in a lot of work during the off season, and it's starting to show. Like, them guys have everything that I asked of them to do, they get it done. They come to practice. They're becoming leaders, and you can just see the change in our team when them guys speak and when them guys are out there making plays.
Coach, coming into tonight, you guys set atop Division II, Region 7. Don't think there's any reason that is going to change as you guys head into the playoffs next week. So that would mean you're a number 1 seed. You're going to have a home game. How much does that mean to you to, in your first season, be able to host a home game at Walnut Ridge?
That was the biggest part. Earlier in the season, we talked about how we only had 4 home games throughout the season, and we would be with a lot of away games. And I talked to the kids earlier, like, hey, man, I think the goal is to have 2 home games this year. Just to add on, having that home camaraderie, us being at home and 48-41, I think that helps us, especially with our fans and stuff, making sure that they'll be able to be here and cheer us on. I think it's going to be great things and big things for us.
Well, now as you head into the playoffs, what's your focus? I've asked a couple coaches this heading into the playoffs. What's the focus of your team? Where do you have to improve?
Just all around things. Special teams plays a huge role. I say that every week. Special teams wins games, and and then limited mistakes. Right now, like during practice, not a lot of individual drills. It's a lot of scout versus scout versus defense. So we can limit mistakes and just play our game and just do what we've been doing. Nothing different. I say that every week. Just do what we've been doing. Do what works, and don't fix it unless it's broke.
Coach, congratulations on the great season you've had, the City League South Championship. I'm sure that was a big goal of your guys as well. It's good to have the Wheelwright name back at Walnut Ridge. Congratulations, Coach, and good luck next week in the playoffs.
Thank you guys so much. Go Scots.
He's the head coach of Walnut Ridge, Rob Wheelwright, joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. There was a couple really good Wheelwrights that came through Walnut Ridge there. Obviously, Rob went on to play his football at Wisconsin in college. What a cool story, though. He comes back his first year as the head coach. They've had some down years. They have a perfect regular season, win the City League South, and they very well could be the number 1 seed in Region 7.
You couldn't envision this happening. I'm sure they in their wildest dreams, they thought, hey, we can do this. But being us trying to be a little bit practical, you don't see this happening. And that says a lot about him. It says a lot about his coaches, and it says a lot about the players, because you've got players, teams that were, 3-8 last season, 2-7 and 22, and 1-7 and 21. You're telling these kids, not that we can win, we're gonna win, and to convince them of that. But then you look, he's got the name that can carry that. He can. They're gonna pay attention to him. They see what he's accomplished in his life, and it just seems so weird that we talked about him in high school.
Yeah. It carries his name will carry a little bit of weight in that locker room. Lee, I'm going to go to break here just a minute or two early because I want to get through all of the scores, and then I really want to get the Guru's final thoughts on this 2024 regular season. It's Byers Dublin Subaru's high school football overtime on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief, as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gahanna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Come November, I'll need an ACA health insurance plan. And thanks to Health Markets, searching for a plan can be easier. When you go to healthmarkets.com, you can find a licensed insurance agent right in your area. They'll even take you through the plans in person. And their help doesn't cost you anything. That's what I like.
Discover the advantages of real personalized service today at healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Sales agents may be compensated based on a consumer's enrollment in an insurance plan. No obligation to enroll, paid after per trail.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2. Or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your furnace is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Get Eco.com.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here. We all think we're doing the right thing, right? Grabbing that healthy,
cereal, or that natural granola bar. But here's the deal. Most of the time, it's loaded with junk. Junk they can't even sell outside the United States. Full of ingredients we can't pronounce and chemicals that just slow us down. Yeah, this is an Awaken 180 message, but these stats are no joke. Almost half of American adults now have type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. Back in the 1950s, that number was just 1%. And it's not just us. 1 in 36 kids has autism now, 4 times higher than 20 years ago. What we're eating, it's affecting all of us. Navigating it, it's confusing. Add in rising rates of cancer, autoimmune diseases, even dementia. It's clear we've been fooled by food. Awaken 180 coaches know the game. They don't just treat the symptoms, they get to the root cause. Reverse the food curse at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Ryan Baker knows more about high school football than anyone. Except Lee Cochran. This is Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime on The Fan.
Lee, just saw this status. We're coming back from break. OCC championship number 9 for Olentangy Liberty tonight. So congratulations for them for that win tonight over Olentangy Orange. Let's go ahead and run through all of the final scores on this week 10 of the high school football season. Can't believe another high school football regular season in the books. Last night we had a couple games in the City League. Northland 17-14 winners in overtime over Beechcroft. The first time Northland has ever beat Beechcroft 3 years in a row. Marion Franklin gets a 24-8 win over South. Tonight in the OCC Buckeye was Pickerington Central. They're your champs. They beat Reynoldsburg 52-21. Newark, they're 7-3, 36-25. They beat Lancaster. Tays Valley wraps up the year 6-4 with a 24-3 win over Logan. In the OCC Capital, what a thriller it was for the championship, and your champion is Big Walnut. They beat Westland 34-33 tonight. How about this, though, for Jordan Matthews of Westland, their junior running back? It's not even Kentrell Reinhardt, their main running back. Jordan Matthews, 4 touchdowns tonight. Heck of a game for him. Westerville North beats Dublin Scioto 41-24. It was Delaware 38, Franklin Heights 8. Westerville South 31-30 winners over Worthington Kilbourne. The OCC Cardinal, your champs are Olentangy Berlin. You heard it right here on the Fan. They beat Olentangy 14-11. Marysville picks up their 3rd win of the year, 31-25. They beat Hilliard Darby, and Dublin Jerome shuts out Thomas Worthington 42-0. The OCC Central, we have a 3-way tie atop. The first game, let's give to you. Dublin Kaufman beats Hilliard Bradley 49-28. Olentangy Liberty 50. Olentangy Orange 22. Olentangy Orange and Liberty will split part of the 3-way championship with Upper Arlington, who beat Hilliard Davidson 14-10. By the way, let's go back to that Liberty game. Andrew Leonard, 4 touchdown passes tonight for the Patriots.
Yeah, and he had a pretty hot first half. Wasn't he 14 for 15 for, 210 and 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, great first half for him. So Andrew Leonard, big game, and you expect that from your seniors. The OCC Ohio goes to Gahanna, 17-6. They beat Pickerington North tonight. Grove City wraps up the regular season 7-3. They 38-0 winners over Central Crossing. New Albany gets a 38-13 win over Westerville Central. Lee, I think New Albany is a team that nobody in Region 7 wants to run into.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and they're going to, it looks like they could play, Massillon in the first round.
Very possible. Aaron Cassidy, by the way, paid me to say that about New Albany. Central Catholic League, Watterson is your winner, 44-7. They beat DeSales. Hartley gets a 48-27 win over St. Charles. In the City League North, Linden McKinley, they beat East 28-20 tonight, so they get part of a 3-way tie for the City League North with East and Northland. Centennial 42-7 winners over Whetstone. The City League South, that goes to Walnut Ridge. A perfect regular season for them, 46-8. They beat Independence. Afrocentric 48-13. They beat Eastmore. Briggs gets a 42-8 win over West. In the Central Buckeye League, Reedy is your champion, 2nd year in a row, Week 10. They end a perfect regular regular season for Columbus Academy, 23-14. Buckeye Valley beat Whitehall tonight. We do know that. We do not have a final score on that one. In the Mid-State League, Buckeye, Bloom Carroll. They're the champs, 41-7. They beat Circleville. Amanda Clear Creek, 50-14. They knock off Liberty Union. Logan Elm gets by Hamilton Township, 34-32. Mid-State League, Cardinal, Bern Union, 7. Fairfield Christian, 6. Grove City Christian, they're your champions in the Cardinal. They beat Fisher Catholic 20-14 tonight, and Rosecrans knocks off Millersport 30-12. Licking County League Buckeye, Granville, they beat Mount Vernon 53-14. Licking Valley, though, is your champion in the Buckeye, 54-7. They beat Watkins Memorial. Licking Heights gets a 40-0 shutout win over Zanesville. In the Licking County League, Cardinal, Johnstown, your champs, 49-0. They beat Newark Catholic tonight. Northridge 56, Lakewood 28, and Heath gets by Utica 36-6. In the Central Buckeye Conference, the Kenton Trail Division, Jonathan Alder beats Tecumseh 41-8. London completes a perfect regular season, 56-0. We haven't talked much about London. They've been hammering teams all year.
Yeah, and their schedule really wasn't that tough, but it's picked up, and they're still steamrolling teams.
And you know what? They steamrolled Bell Fountain, too. I know that was a crazy weather night, but they hammered them. So they're obviously dangerous there in Region 12 and Division 3.
But don't forget, they beat Bell Fountain in the regular season last year, too.
That is true.
And something bit them in the playoffs.
Ohio Heritage Conference North, Northeastern beats West Jeff 40-13. In the South, Madison Plains gets by Springfield Catholic Central 27-7. Some area non-league games, Worthington Christian 35-0 over Bexley. Harvest Prep knocks off Kip 35-14. And again, we have one game tomorrow in the OCC. Buckeye Groveport is at Canal Winchester. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Lee, the Guru's final thoughts on the 2024 regular season. I can't believe it's come to an end.
Yeah, a lot of the things remain the same a little bit with, Division I. Some of the top teams, Liberty, Pickerington Central, Upper Arlington. But one of the, it's going to up in Division III, Watterson. But those are part of the surprises, too. There's not that one team in Division I that we're saying they're the favorite. There's 7-8 teams that could win in Region 3. Watterson's a little bit of a surprise. I expect them to be good, but I don't know that I expect them to be this good. A couple other surprises, Westland. That came out of nowhere. We talked to Coach last week, 2 weeks ago. That's still surprising. Walnut Ridge, we just talked to Coach Wheelwright about that. Possibly the biggest surprise to me, though, this year than the opener. Harvest Prep beating Pickerington Central. You and I were glued to listening to it and watching it. I mean, that was just incredible. What I'd say is been a great regular season. It's been fun. And congratulations to all your league champions. And good luck to all the Central High teams in the playoffs. What's your thoughts, real quick?
I just think the Division I, Region 3, the parity is so fun. Watterson, I really think they have a great shot at winning a state championship. And I'm really excited to see Harvest Prep. They've been so close. They've been knocking on that state championship door. They've upped their competition even more. You mentioned Pick Central. They played a Cincinnati LaSalle last week. Can they make it? They've made it to the state semifinals a lot. Can they get past that, and can they get that state championship? And remember, the season isn't over. We've got Groveport, Canal tomorrow. Also, one of the biggest rivalries in the state, Canton, McKinley, and Massillon is tomorrow. And again, if you didn't hear, Marion Local tonight beats Coldwater 35-0. It's their 58th straight win. It's an Ohio high school record for consecutive wins in football, and it's the 33rd longest streak ever in the country. So that's pretty cool.
And what was their last loss? 2020
New Bremen in the COVID year. And New Bremen went on to win the state championship that year as well. Congratulations to all the teams that won tonight, and our coaches Brian Kennedy, Mark Nori, and Rob Wheelwright for joining us tonight. Don't forget the Buckeyes versus Nebraska right here on The Fan tomorrow. It starts at noon, but our pregame coverage begins at 6:30. Jacob Reimer will be here early for all of that. The Kevin Stefanski Show is next, 97.1 The Fan.
Chops his serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
At Byers Subaru Dublin, we're not just a dealership, we're your trusted hometown team, guiding you through a seamless experience, whether buying, selling, trading, or servicing your Subaru. We've got you covered.
Right now, get the all-new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for 72 months.
Located under the windmill at 270 and Sawmill, or shop online at ByersSubaruDublin.com. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers Subaru Dublin.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 10/31/24.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
When severe weather strikes, seconds count. That's why you need advance warning from 10 Weather Impact. When we say advance warning, that means you'll know when storms will hit and how long they will last, how they could impact you and your family, what you need to be prepared. And you'll know all of it ahead of time. When it's coming, the impact, and what you need to know. All from 10 Weather Impact.